I'm Cathy and I'm at the Cotton Blossom today, and I'm here to show you my favorite set of machines that we carry here. We've got the full line of Baby Lock machines, but boy do I love the quilting machines. So I'm here standing in front of the Regalia. We have others, but this is my favorite, the Regalia quilting machine. It comes on a 10-foot frame. Look at this screen, it has automation. This is the kind of machine that people think about when they think about quilting those big quilts with a beautiful built-in design that just fills up the whole space, like this quilt right here. This was done on a big long arm machine like the Regalia. And isn't that quilting gorgeous? And there are thousands of designs you can choose from to quilt on your quilt. And if you want to quilt a big quilt, it's very helpful to have a big frame like this big 10-foot frame. We have other quilting machines. I'm going to talk about them in a minute, but this is the big mama. It is fabulous. Now, most people think about putting a quilt on this that will fill up the whole space and you can do a big queen-size quilt. But there are other things you can do with this quilting machine that are fun too. And let me show you what I've got loaded on the machine today. These are some panels that I've put on here. All I had to do was use one piece of backing fabric, just a general something that will go with lots of different patterns. It's like a cone of snow. It's a solid. Put that on the back, laid the batting on top, and then look what I've done. I've put different panels on the top of the machine. I've got this one here that actually started life as a mask panel. Remember those things? But now I'm going to quilt it. I'm going to cut it up and make hot pads for gifts at Christmas. Look at this panel. This is a placemat panel. It's got different placemats. Most people would think, oh, let's get that, cut it up, quilt each one, put on. But no, you can put the whole panel on here, quilt it all at one time, and cut it up later. Here is a growth chart panel. Isn't this precious? Look at the little foxes. Ordinarily, you would cut this all up and quilt it on a small sewing machine, but I can quilt the whole panel in one pass. Then I cut the growth chart. Look at these little bibs. It's hard to see them in here, but these are going to be little bibs. Once they get quilted, put binding on them, and now you have a gift. And the really fabulous thing about this Regalia is that you can add robotics. You can add an automated screen that will allow you to press a button and it stitches out the whole pass of the machine. If you want a long arm by yourself and you want a free motion, you can do it. But you can also choose a pattern, choose an area, click here, and it will stitch for you. Watch what I'm about to do. Do you see this pink area right there? That's my area that I've defined. 2 clicks on this screen and I defined that area. Then I went and found a design. I wanted something kind of small to put in this area, so I chose a stipple design. I put it in that area, resized it. I mean, it was bam, bam, that fast. And now I'm going to press go and watch it stitch. And it's going to keep on stitching until it gets all the way down to the end there. If I have more quilt to stitch, all I have to do is unclamp, roll it up, and set it, and it will go again until my whole project is quilted. Let's say we finished quilting this panel. This is actually some that I've already done, and I have cut them apart. These were originally just like this, together, quilted on the long arm. Now I've cut them apart, and all I have to do is add the binding, and I have a whole set of placemats. This is a set of placemats that I did last year on this long arm with chickens. I have chickens, so I'm partial to chickens. This is my chicken placemats. Same exact process. This started life as a panel. I quilted it on the long arm, cut them up, put on binding, actually put a little mitered binding in there with an added color. And I have a great set of chicken placemats. What could be better? So a lot of people come in and they see this fabulous machine, but they say, oh, but you know, I just don't have room for that in my house. Well, let me tell you a couple of things you can do about that. For one thing, you can cut this frame in half. It comes in 2 5-foot pieces. So you could set it up as a 5-foot frame, still have your automation, still have your huge 20-inch throat space to quilt with, but it would be on a 5-foot frame. Then, hey, you might move, you might add on, some kid might go to college, and you will have more room to set up your machine. So that's an option with this Regalia. Another option is the other quilting machines we have here. We have the brand new Gallant, which comes on an 8-foot frame. Don't have room for 10? Maybe you got room for 8. It's a great size long arm with an 18-inch throat space. Then we have the Coronet, which is a 5-foot frame with a 16-inch throat on it. Those machines are, I mean, that machine, the Coronet, fits in a 5-foot footprint. Who doesn't have 5 square feet in their house? I mean, that's a small footprint, but it does a fabulous job. It's a free motion quilting machine, not an automated machine, but it's also significantly more affordable than a big machine like this. So if you're wanting to quilt your own quilts, that is really a good option. And one more option is the Regent, which is a sit-down quilting machine. It has an 18-inch throat, built-in stitch regulation in the table, and you sit down and move your quilt under the needle instead of moving the needle over your quilt. Many people love that option. If you're wanting to quilt your own quilts and don't feel like you have room or the wherewithal to do this giant, wonderful machine here, there are a lot of other options. Come see us and let me show you all the long arm quilting options here at the Cotton Blossom. And we always say,
beautiful things come together
one stitch at a time
at the Cotton Blossom.